you've defined multiple spectrum of bad boys. We'll still come back to what you were saying. Multiple spectrum of bad boys. So when they say women love bad boys, which of the bad boys are they talking about?
I just think that there has to be some reawakening, and it has to start from every man, every human with a penis.
No, that sounds funny. Go on. Welcome to the Mengoes Podcast once again. This is that podcast where we have real conversation about brotherhood, about relationship, about how or about becoming the best version of ourselves as men. And it's good to have you guys with us once again. Today, we've had, I shared a video with you on Instagram.
Yeah, during the week.
Yeah, the concert they were having, and then there was a lady amongst multiple men that so many people were grabbing her clothes, and at some point I was weak. Like the level of thirst, like so many things will happen. I'll blame the government. I'm like, the government should have provided this, but at this point I don't even know who to blame anymore. Like, looking at the majority of the people there, like a lot of men were just trying to pull the lady, grab the clothes. At some point, somebody even tried ripping her, whether a shirt or a gown, and it was really sad. And I went through the comments. I don't want to bore you with the comment section, because I think that's what I do the most on Instagram, comments, because we'll find people with sound mind, and then we'll find people with some takes. But yeah, that's what is burning in my heart today, and I'm wondering, like, are we actually really that thirsty?
I think we should first of all take a minute to watch the video, and I mean, so this will lay a background context,
yeah.
And then. All right. So after we've seen the video,
once again, you traumatized me again. But yeah, let's go on.
Falawe, do you want to say something about that before? I mean, what's your view about all you've said?
No, before you say what's his view, I want to ask him a question. Why are you guys so thirsty?
What do you mean, why are you guys?
I don't think I'm a guy at this point. I don't think, for a moment, I'm not proud to say I'm a guy.
To be honest, it's unfortunate that we didn't do what's trending this week. But there was this thing I saw about Linda Ikeji. She made a post, and then I saw another guy made a repost of what she said. She made a post of herself, and very lovely picture. And then the guy was just writing about how a woman is incomplete if she's not married, if she's rich, if she. And I'm like,
I think I saw the post.
I
saw the post.
So I'm like, you see, I think there are some guys you will see that you will see the way they reason, and then you yourself, you're ashamed that you're a guy. Like, they project certain things, and you're like, really there by.
Okay, so that's why I really need to understand why you guys are thirsty. To be fair, I need to know.
He's doing gender transfer. What do they call that?
Whatever you call this one, I agree.
I didn't see the video until now, but I haven't watched it. It's shameful, to say the least. Is disheartening that I actually share the same gender with the guys in the video. But then I think it boils down to the fact that the society places so much pressure on the girl child on how to be behaved, how to be well behaved, that we almost totally neglect the boy child. I honestly, I think a lot of guys walking around are bereft of good manners.
But if we want to talk about good manners and all this, there is a famous saying, I'm sure you guys have heard it before. Women love bad boys. And if you are talking about training up a child or a boy child to be well-mannered, I don't think being a bad boy is part of that manner.
I think the kind of bad boy. See, bad is contextual.
Okay.
Bad is now context. You see, your gender. Bad is now contextual.
I want to hear his.
Go on.
No, bad is contextual.
Okay.
Some people may look bad. Like you're seeing this guy, he has tattoo, he's got piercings, he's got this, he has this swag, and you're looking like, there's a picture of a good boy. Like you have low cuts, no beards. You have, in fact, some of the good boys, they have glasses.
Lady boy.
Yeah, they're always on suit, prim and proper, on brogue shoes, clean cut trousers, nice tailored shirts. Those are good boys. But when you start seeing boys with, what do they call these jeans? Ripped jeans,
Plated
dreads or plated.
Like you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Tattoos and stuff
Beards,
like that.
like
Beards, you'd be like,
are you a good boy? Because you have all the qualities of
Yeah, all the qualities you've been saying.
It's contextual, like I said. But then you now see the real bad boys, and then there are those bad boys who are involved in crimes too, but because they live this hard life, some people find them appealing, I would say. But you now have those bad boys who are like women abusers, who have no respect for women, who have, except it is Stockholm syndrome. I don't think there is any person in their right.
So I think
that should love people like that.
Our society needs to do better.
When you say society, what do you mean?
Everybody outside there, we need to do better.
Is it just Africa or?
I think it's mostly an African thing.
Because I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah, tagging people like for.
I think you were going to go there. That was why I was waiting for you to make mention of it, because I don't think it's an African thing.
I think it's more about Africa.
No, it's not.
Because right here, you see an organist in a church with plated hair, with ripped jeans.
No, when I'm saying,
and it's not necessarily tagged a bad person.
Okay.
No, when I'm saying
in Africa,
yes, they get tagged. Yes,
exactly.
When I was trying to
end time church. Honestly, like
you remember Pastor, what's this pastor that took over his
Kingsley.
parents' church?
Which one?
Pastor PJ, what's his name?
Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy,
yeah, Pastor
yeah,
Jimmy. Yeah.
So I was thinking what you meant by our society is that the stories or cases of women abuse are more rampant.
No. I was actually talking about tagging people based on facial.
Because I've noticed that I used to think before that it was an African thing, but I've learned now that
So
it's a global
what you've defined multiple spectrum of bad boys. We'll still come back to what you were saying. Multiple spectrum of bad boys. So when they say women love bad boys, which of the bad boys are they talking about?
They just want someone that can drive their adrenaline, that most people get bored with. There are just very few people that are in that spectrum where they like routines. And in fact, people that love routines, this is not to be judgmental or being funny or with respect to people who live with special needs. Sometimes people who have very routine lifestyle. Sometimes they are somehow on the spectrum, because a regular someone that is not on the spectrum would probably just want to be random.
Yeah, some level of excitement.
Some level of excitement, adrenaline as such. So I think it's a more human, general thing.
Okay, so for the people that are actually watching and try to understand the concept of women love bad boys, they are not talking about a testy man. A testy man is not a bad boy in this context.
No, that's what I'm saying. People who don't respect women.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted us to draw that line.
Yeah.
But please go ahead. Back to the training a boy child.
I there's a lot of pressure on the girl child on how to dress, so that boys will not harass her. I mean, there's a lot of pressure about how to speak, how to sit, how to do all sorts of things. But then we place all our concentration on these girls that we forget that they share the same environment with these guys.
Okay. So sorry. I want to cut you. Don't label me, but I think there is a reason for that. I'm not justifying it, but I think there is a reason for that.
All right, say it.
And this is the rationale behind it. This is what I believe the rationale is women can be vulnerable, especially in this hard world. So the idea of teaching the female child to do this, in a way is to protect them from finding themselves in certain situations. But it's quite unfortunate that it's not enough protection for them.
So why are we not training the people we are protecting them from?
Yeah, you have a strong point. I'm just trying to say the reason why it feels like there is a lot of emphasis on the female. Like I always say something, they will always tell you, keep your property.
Mm-hmm.
They won't go and tell the thief not to come and steal. The thief will come regardless. So now them telling you, keep your property safe. Don't put your belongings in the car. Don't put your belongings where people outside can see. I feel like that's because the bulk of.
But this is why there are police to catch thieves, isn't it?
Yes. So we have police in place.
The police
to catch
catching the thieves are actually meant to instill that civility in the thieves, to know that they are not meant to go into people's house
Correct.
to rob.
But
And
a thief is a
that
thief.
is where raising the boy child properly. To be honest, we've paid so much attention to raising the girl child that we've neglected the boy child. Like you were saying, the girls are the ones. While I was in university, I had a roommate, Wale. If you are seeing this video, it is you I'm talking about. Wale was it was in the middle. I think his parents had 3 kids. He was the only boy. He was in the middle. Yeah. I remember when we got to school that year, Wale wanted to make jollof rice. Guess what Wale did? Wale opened, we're using stove, the kerosene stove. He put water on the pot. He poured rice that was not rinsed or washed into the pot. He poured in tomato. He poured everything into the pot at the same time. The rice was not washed. The bean, in fact, the tomato.
It is just excitement, being
It is
spontaneous.
It was because Wale was not taught the basics of cooking. And when I asked him, how do you guys cook in your house? Do you go to the kitchen at all? Because Wale wanted to cook beans one day. Wale poured beans with chaff into the pot.
Wale caught stray bullets now.
Now, I asked him what happens. He says, whenever he goes near the kitchen, his father flogs him. That he's going to the kitchen to cause chaos. The kitchen never obirin. What do you continue in parlor? Wale became a menace that cannot take care of himself. Wale was a smart child, was good academically, but the basics of living as a human being, an adult, he lacked it. So this is seen in the way parents raise their children. They are the girls are the ones you will send to cook, to clean the house, to the market, to do this, to do that. And then we successfully raise adults that become irresponsible to themselves, to their families, and to the society. Now, in this video, we can see grown men struggling to rip apart just one girl.
Same thing in this Ozorowa festival. What do you call it?
I was going to go there. It gave me this feeling
if Kia was
I'm coming for that. It gave me this feeling of hungry lion. You know when you throw food. Did you do catfish rearing?
Yeah, I've seen people
when you pour food into the pond, you see all the catfish will scramble, and then some of them kill themselves in the process of trying to get food.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So one girl in the middle of men, and then she was being dragged left, right, and center like they are sex-starved, like their life depends on, like it is a zombie invasion.
Oh, God.
You understand? There is no level of insanity that is beyond this. Then we talked about the Ozoro Festival. When I heard it, my mind was blown away. I felt like the first video I saw, I felt like it was just some content creator creating something to trend.
Even that content creator will collect serious backlash because it's ridiculous.
And then I started seeing videos upon videos, and people were talking, even reputable, social media influencers talking about how inhumane this is. And I'm like, so in 2026, people still have festivals of raping women.
What actually baffles me is the fact that throughout all the show of shame and all that, there was no law enforcement agent around to ensure peace and sanity.
The festival was a 7-day festival where
And-
they proclaim all the female in their society in Delta State needs to stay inside. It gives me that Oro festival mode. Although they still do Oro, but this one is now gender biased. You have Oro is also be gender
Yeah,
biased.
Lance Horror too. The
Yes,
people, yeah.
they only hunt women. I'm saying, I'm sorry, but we're still very backward. We feel like we're living in the early 17th century.
Yeah, see, you know why I wouldn't want us to toe this line, because we'll be digressing completely, because I feel like there is something called law and order, and there is something called the government in their role in maintaining law and order.
Yeah.
It's really sickening that we have things like this going on. We can always culture can evolve. It doesn't have to vanish, but culture can evolve.
There's cultural evolution, yeah.
So yeah, it's just crazy. Like,
What's cultural about raping women?
No, I don't even think
It's
that's
not
a
even culture.
I'm not sure that's a culture. Because
So, okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
in the history of our culture, nowhere, well, I've not studied the history of the Deltan culture, but I don't believe there is any culture that lay credence to forcefully, assaulting women sexually and putting them. I mean, it's unthinkable. Then
I wanted to ask that the festival itself, is that actually what the festival is about? Because it seems like the festival has been on for a while.
I
the
forgot.
It's not the first
The
time.
knowledge I got from it is that is what it is about.
No, I think I read that the festival has been in place for a while, but it was something else, but they kind of changed it.
Maybe it would be like the Oro festival where women are not meant to
Let me check.
come out. All right, in Oro festival,
Yeah, I know.
women are not meant to come out. So what they do in the places I know is that if they catch a woman, before if they catch a woman, they will buy the woman. Yes, now that was what it used to be, and they will use the blood for sacrifice. Yes, but now when they catch a woman or anybody who as such, they will charge them some fees and then they'll set.
Anyway, I really don't know too much about the festivals and all, so I don't want to be giving wrong information. But it's actually sickening, and I feel
Okay, so the initial festival is actually to bring a fertility rites intended to bring blessings to couples, but it is the 2026 version.
no.
So they are beginning to sow the blessing to everybody.
To everybody.
So now, so are we establishing the fact that the reason why you guys are thirsty is because
Are you all right?
it's because we've invested so much in training the female child.
I
to
think
be
it's
a
just
lady.
a decadence in the values we teach or we promote in the young ones in our society. A society where we now value a man by virtue of not the morals he emanates or he virtues he has to give,
but
but
just
about maybe
the cash
money
he has in his hand.
about
I think
basically
that's all.
money.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
was trying to think about what else we extol in our society. It's basically just money. So even if a guy is a woman beater,
no matter
do you know that-
how he got the money.
No, that's funny thing. Some don't care how you got the money.
Let me show
Someone
you. I saw a video yesterday. There is a popular, I'm not mentioning him, there is a popular radio activist in Ibadan that kind of like goes
Why
into
Ibadan?
family matters, that solves issues.
Okay.
And
I
all
think I know
that,
the person.
that addressed an issue recently about a young girl who decides to put herself in a family way with a man. All right. The guy wants to marry the girl, but the mom doesn't want the guy to marry the girl, allegedly because he's from another tribe. All right.
Okay.
The girl was 18 at the time she met the guy. Now she's 20. The mother doesn't want him to get married to the girl, but now she's 20. She has had like 2 kids or 1 child, and she's also pregnant. The mom now brought the issue to this radio station where social issues are being discussed.
Okay.
That the daughter is becoming very rude and unreceptive to her because the guy has hypnotized her. Now they brought the radio program, they brought the show to the radio, and after everybody spoke their part, the girl spoke very rudely about the mom. In fact, the girl denounced the mom and said, how do they say that?
Disown.
I disown you. Then, but in the multitude of the things she said, I learned that she said the mother also disowned her when she ran back to her because she was pregnant or one thing. The mother started disowned her. At 11 o'clock, she asked her to go out of her home, our own home. She didn't accept her back home. She also complained that the guy she's seeing has been abusive towards her, physically abusive, all of that, because apparently the guy should be in his 30s and the girl is just 20 now at the time. The guy has been very wicked. But this girl, from what I can read as a mental health practitioner, I can tell that she probably lacked fatherly love. And she's seeing the guy as a father. And that is the only reason she thinks the guy loves her, despite the fact that this guy constantly physically assaults this girl. Now, despite the fact that all of this is happening, the society still sees a man like this as a responsible man.
If she breaks up with him now, you'll be surprised at the number of ladies knocking at his door, despite knowing
all
what
of this
he
information.
did. What he did.
This goes to why I am saying that, although there are so many aspects to this conversation, but what I'm just trying to say is that, you see, I'm going to mention this one because they are popular stories. IVD and Blessing CEO. The story of IVD and the late wife, there were so many circumstances around it. Everybody knows. Now, this is also somebody that I'm not sure the wife's body has decayed before.
Moving on to the next.
You understand?
And then there was issue of the IVD.
There are so many stories about the thinking that's everywhere. So people don't actually value the morals a man brings to the table, especially once he's got money.
So now, can I ask the question again? So the reason why you all are thirsty, because I think I want us to get to that point. So now we are saying it's more like a societal decay as a whole, both from when the male child is being brought up to even what the society expects from him.
Even what a lady expects from him.
Now, a woman that is the victim now, what even women expect from a man, or how they value their value system on a man.
Have you seen ladies tell that I would rather cry in a Lamborghini than cry in keke?
Why do you have to cry?
That's not even the angle I'm going. I've seen ladies that actually prefer guys that have actually been with many ladies, like your CV in quotes is full, to a guy that has limited experience. And a lot of ladies say that actually. So I think the pressure and the kind of qualities that the society, women in general, try to see in a man that they want to be with. Don't be surprised that in the society where these guys that we saw in the video are, they are the biggest boys that every lady wants to date, despite knowing the kind of life they live. And you'll be surprised. They are the ones every lady's dream.
No. We all grew up. Even in secondary schools, the bad boys are the ones that have history of.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's the problem.
It's a garbage in, garbage out. This bad boy thing, it has many aspects to it, because the bad boy is also the only one that is bold enough to go and toast to those girls. The good boys are afraid. I had a crush on a girl in secondary school for 3 years. She didn't know.
Glory be to God. At least I managed to give my own Valentine gift and she returned it.
For 3 years, my teacher noticed. She made us seatmates.
Your teacher owed you.
Ladies, what is her name?
Nobody cast.
She made us seatmates. But I still didn't tell her. Because we were being good boys.
So I believe now that you've
gathered the experience. Move on to the other things.
Now that you've gathered the experience, you will be able to write a book on how to be a good boy.
So, how did you ask your first girlfriend out? I'm interested.
No, don't let's go.
Let's go. Because good boy know they pay, and that is how girls also say good girls know they pay. Wait. Let me say it this way. Look at that boy in the video we were referencing, yeah?
Oh.
The boy tried to rescue that girl.
I was about to go there, but please.
The boy rescued that girl. Initially, when I saw
the one in white singlet,
right? The one in white singlet, yeah. Okay. When I saw the video, I was like, is this boy trying to repack?
Actually, I thought he was trying to rape her.
But when I
Well, a closer look.
and I saw him multiple times, I realized he was the only one trying to protect the girl.
Him and the bouncer in black, the bouncer,
So
the
of course,
event
the bouncer
bouncer. Yeah.
eventually had to like pull her up on the stage. But you will notice that the guy was trying to hold, when they were trying to rip her pants up, when she was trying to climb it, he was trying to hold it back and then push her up and all that. Guess who the bouncer first slapped?
Actually, while you were speaking, I remembered something that happened when I was in 400 level. I was walking on the streets of Tanke, Okeodo. I schooled in Ilorin, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a group of two friends. We're three. Yeah, two friends. All of a sudden, one guy stopped us and he said he's been hearing a lady scream in the bush, but he's not bold enough to, go in that. Do we mind going into the bush with him to see what is actually wrong? Yeah, like, Abi, here we go. Femi, Alpha. We should go. And lo and behold, as we entered the bush, we actually saw two guys trying to rape a girl.
Oh.
They saw us, we threw stones, they ran away. And then we ensured we followed the girl home, like she was traumatized. It was the first time I've ever experienced
I need to give you a round of applause. See, to be fair, the reason why I'll say I give you a round of applause is follow up to what you said is it's very dicey. A lot of people have been in the position to help and then they've gone ahead to help and eventually that was where the problem was. My case was not even related to this. My case was I had a female friend that came over and then she wasn't feeling too well, and in the middle of the night I tried to get a friend to take her to the hospital. While we were going to the hospital, Jaja in UI, they were on strike. That's the hospital and then the doctor that was there, because there was just one doctor, referred us to a private clinic. So it means in the middle of the night, we had to leave UI. And then the doctor was like, private clinic. And I was like, say the money will not be too much. Just say, you computer boys, you have money. And I'm like, wait, what you just said now, if anything happens to this girl, on our way to the hospital, the policeman will literally say, you computer boys. And then for a split second, I could relate to some people that they find themselves in a position where they can actually render help.
But they couldn't.
Not because they cannot, but they are literally worried that
what if it doesn't go
this
well?
thing will not. Example is that young man. I felt pain for that guy because at the end of it all, after fighting to at least preserve the dignity of that lady, pulling, trust me, if you did not pull that, they will literally. That's the end. After doing that, of course, I don't blame the person on the stage that gave him a knock on the head because his assumption was, you understand? Yeah. And then I'm looking at it. If it was a situation where it was the police that was arresting, and then because that guy was there, he was arrested. Like I could see the pain when he was trying to explain that. I was the one pushing. I was like, so it's really dicey. See, I would give credit to any man that can step up. That is part of being a man. It's something I myself would really want to do. Because the truth is, we cannot all just be bystanders and just keep watching. Because there were people in that place too. If they probably had joined that guy in the effort, some people were not harassing her. They were just doing whatever, enjoying the show or whatever. If they had joined effort with the guy, the result might be different.
I think at this point, it would be safe to say that, I mean, I don't have the statistics, but whilst we clamor for voices to speak more on how men are being assaulted and sexually abused and all that, not like it is one makes one lesser or anything, but I think more men assault women than more women assault men.
Yeah, that's the way that's the way it's going to be, because assault most times requires a level of strength, and it's just quite unfortunate. Men are like stronger.
It is very, very shameful. Like when you hear all of this, it's not every day. Yeah, we know that men sometimes we internalize some of these sexual assaults and all that because they are not like brutal in force and all that. But when you see videos left, right, and center, you hear stories left, right, and center, it breaks my heart. So when do men become responsible enough to start reteaching themselves? Because in my place, my people will say, if you have been raised well, you will retrain yourself. Yeah,
If they train you, you
You
go
will
out and then you
yeah,
retrain
mature
yourself.
be-
train yourself. Whichever we context. So when do men start taking that initiative to retrain themselves so that we can give out the energy we hope to get back?
Get back.
Because many of us now have children, or will have children, or already have children. And when you look at those days when you are being naughty, you just feel like you're catching cool, you're having fun, your friends, you are doing what your friends are doing. But when you think about it in the context of you being on the receiving end, your daughter running home, or you witnessing your daughter run home in shame
Because somebody ripped her
because
clothes
somebody
up.
has ripped her clothes off publicly, or she has been molested sexually, or she's been exposed to some kind of violent sexual bruise and whatever. How do you then cope with that? So I just think that there has to be some reawakening, and it has to start from every man, every human with a penis.
No, that sounds funny. Go on.
No, it's true.
Are there men with that one?
It's true. Every human with a penis to start thinking right, re-educating themselves, and re-educating every young boy around them about sexual responsibility, sexual maturity, about understanding that it has to be consensual, and you have to understand that there is no force, there is no whatever, because what goes around eventually comes around.
Definitely. To be fair, I think you've literally encapsulated the entire discourse, and this is just like the first step in trying to get a form of resolution to things like this. I think it starts from us. It starts from the family. It starts from we as fathers training our sons. Because the truth is, if we look deep into this, there is a society at large that's by default turned sexual content to candy for everybody. So there is even unnecessary exposure of even young children to sexual content. Somebody was saying something that the massage industry has exploited. Yeah, I think you were the one that. I
was the one that wrote it.
You were the one that wrote it.
The massage industry is leveraging basically on sexual appeal.
Yeah. So like there is a lot of content that's being sold. Even you see real estate, and then the next thing is they're looking for test trap and all those things, and then
real estate is sold by test trap.
So I feel like we need to protect our. In fact, right now maybe I will not be speaking about, like we said, we've had enough of conversation around women, girl child do this, daughters do this, blah 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 blah. Our sons, we need to be able to assess the kind of information they have and also feed them with positive information. Being a man is not just about brutes and force and fighting. Bro, you're not in the Stone Age. You're not fighting dinosaurs. There needs to be something, and you need to have a virtue in you that is way more than, and it's crazy. It's crazy. That video really hurts me, to be fair. It really hurts me. I didn't even know what to say. Me, that I'm always quick to comment. Like, I didn't even know, like, and then in the comment, I saw some people tweet, even women tweet, what are you doing there in the midst of, because if you look at, and I'm like, if she send a memo to all the women not to come to the whether concert or whatever, or like, we need to do better, to be fair. We need to do better.
So on this note, we bring this episode to an end. We hope you've been able to catch one or two things.
And do better.
Let's do better.
Drink water. Drink water. For your test, just drink water and go and sleep.
Drink water for your thirst. Water is the best cure for thirst.
For thirst, exactly.
See you next week.
All right, thank you very much.